Welcome to the Making Moves with Mao podcast. In every episode, you'll hear stories from individuals just like you that are trying to make an impact. They'll share their unique journey and some helpful tips that got them to where they are now. You'll hear conversations with people from all walks of life who are trying to make some moves. Now, here's your host, Mao.
Hey everyone, thank you for joining us on another episode of Making Moves with Mao. I'm excited today because we've got a very special guest, Jordan Nelken with Tribeca Boutique. She's going to share her story with a very unique story, it sounds like, with taking over the fashion business at the boutique industry. I'm excited because we've never done one of these before too, so it's first for us. So thank you for taking the time today to join us.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for inviting me and having me here. And I hope it's a good experience and you have more fashion people come on in.
Exactly. That'll be awesome. So I always like to start kind of the same way, kind of figuring out what got you to want to take that path. So we can take it as far back as we need to with you, with the business.
Yeah. So my first job ever was a boutique that I worked at with my mom. She was the manager of the store. I loved working with my mom, loved working in clothes. I was 16, after school job, that sort of thing. It was great. And I ended up loving it so much that I went to school for fashion merchandising and marketing.
Nice. Where'd you go to school?
Southern Illinois in Carbondale.
Yeah. Awesome.
Yeah. So went down south, like 6 hours. Loved it. It was great. I loved the fashion program there. And then right when I graduated, I moved to the West Loop in the city. And literally was like walking my dog one day and saw that Tribeca was hiring for a sales associate.
So you just took the opportunity.
Should I apply? Yeah. I was like, okay. Yeah. I talked to my fiance, boyfriend at the time. I was like, do you think I should? He's like, yeah, do it. And now I'm the owner. So it's a good thing I did.
That's insane, right? It's crazy. Like you sell the sign and then now you're the owner. So take me back. So when did you graduate? Like how far of a time frame is that?
Yeah. So I graduated college in 2014. Started working just as like a part-time sales associate at Tribeca starting in July of 2014, I want to say. And then just kind of started working more full-time. I was also part-time at another boutique out in the suburbs.
Oh, wow.
And I helped kind of start that boutique. I helped the owner. They had the space. It's called 312 Tudor. Out in Glencoe in the north suburbs.
Okay, nice.
So I started that and kind of helped them do a lot of the buying and worked there part-time and Tribeca part-time.
So that must have been a completely different experience because Tribeca's been already established, right? Yes. They've already got a pretty big recognition, big brand behind it.
Yeah, so Tribeca started, I want to say 2003, 2004. area. They were in Lincoln Park for 9 years. Okay. And then the previous owner moved to the West Loop. So she has been in business for a really long time. So working somewhere that was more established and city life versus north suburbs is two completely different.
Oh, yeah, I can imagine.
Yeah, two completely different things.
Two completely different audience that you're reaching out to, too.
Yes, absolutely. And the commute just going up north, all the time, it was too much. So I kind of faded out of that and then went more full time from part-time sales associate to manager to started going to trade shows with the old owner, I'm sorry. And then she ended up moving to Austin.
Okay.
I want to say in 2017, 2018. And I approached her and I was like, hey, would you ever sell your business? I've always wanted my own store.
Yeah.
Working with my mom back when I was 16, my mom and I were like, we should have our own boutique. That would be so much fun. It would be so amazing. We should do that.
That's crazy.
And then she was like, no, I don't think I'm going to sell. And then ended up in 2018 approaching me again, being like, hey, I thought about it. I'm going to open up a store in Austin. Do you want to take over this one? So then I became the owner.
The Austin store, is that the same brand? Like, was it franchise type thing?
It's not franchise. So it's going to be two completely separate entities. Like I'm my own business. She's her own business, but she's definitely my mentor now. And I'm very, very lucky to have her. And it was an amazing experience for sure.
That's crazy. So what made you kind of make that decision? Like, taking over the business. I mean, obviously that's a huge opportunity and a huge transition from being an employee of a business to then taking on everything that comes with being the owner, right? Because obviously now you're playing many different hats.
Yes, I do it all. I definitely do it all. I do the buying, the accounting, the paperwork, the helping with customers, visual merchandising. I'm definitely playing all of those roles. But I just really loved working there, and I loved the clientele. And being that I wanted my own boutique at some point in my life, I was kind of weighing the pros and cons. Is it more financially responsible for me to take over an existing business, or should I, start anew? Which one makes the most sense?
So your goal was always to own your own thing.
Mm-hmm. And I definitely did not expect to do it at 27.
That's insane.
I'll say that. I did not expect that at age 27 I would have my own store.
Well, I don't think many people get that opportunity, right?
I have to say I'm very lucky, and I'm very thankful. So
that's amazing. So walk me through kind of where you're at now. So you took over 2018?
2019.
2019.
Yeah,
okay.
2019. Right, just like 6 months before COVID. Yeah, it was really good timing on my part. Yeah.
No, it used to be a very kind of very similar story that we've been getting with a lot of people that we've talked to, is like, the pandemic really changed their outlook on wanting to create something for themselves. So how was that like? How was that transition?
It was very, very difficult. Within 6 months of being in business, like I said, still learning being an owner and having employees that are my responsibility, and all that stuff was a huge change. And really, I was like, I don't know what I don't know what I'm doing. I do know what I'm doing, but it's just like, it's so hard. And I remember in March of 2020, when we had to close, I just remember like putting a sign on the door, posting on Instagram like that, like we were closing just for 2 weeks. Everyone thought it was just for 2 weeks. Yeah. I'm like, okay, I'm just going to close for 2 weeks. And I just like sat in the fitting room floor and like sobbed my eyes out. And I was like, what am I going to do? And then it ended up being 3 months that were closed. But I got very lucky. I'm sure you hear this all the time, that lockdown really was an opportunity for a lot of people.
It's all about mindset,
yes.
It's how you see it. So
so I really focused myself on the online business. We had a website, but it wasn't somewhere that we really based a lot of revenue to come through. And with having lockdown, I was able to really focus on that website.
Kind of gave you no choice, right?
Exactly. And I was forced to learn how to work it and how to do all of this. And I started putting up I would go every week and change the window, and I would put up QR codes to be like, shop this outfit online, or, wear sweatpants on the bottom and like a nice work shirt on top, because everything is over Zoom. And I actually got put on a panel there were only like 5 stores in the entire US that there was like this fashion trade show panel, and they asked 5 stores in the entire US that were doing a really good job during lockdown to like speak at this like Zoom
how are you doing it? Right?
Yeah. So I was fortunate enough to do that. And that was really amazing. Yeah.
Incredible. So when that shift happened and you had to close down your location, obviously now you're going all online sales, right? For the most part. Were you doing nationwide at that point, or was it?
Yeah, like a little bit. I think what helped me the most is I was the first person in the West Loop to have face masks. Nobody had, like, Amazon wasn't delivering face masks. They were all delayed. People like Walgreens, like the surgical, everyone was sold out. And it just happened. Like one of my vendors reached out to me and was like, hey, we're going to start making them. Like, do you want it? And I was like, I don't know if people are going to want it. So I just ordered like 100 for like my first order. I felt like supreme. I sold out in 30 seconds. So that was like, okay, let's order some more.
You got a hot commodity on your hands.
Yeah,
you got to take advantage.
That is basically what got me through the 3-month lockdown. Yeah.
Wow. And to your point, having to kind of pivot and adjust during a time where nobody really knew what to expect, right? Yeah. So many brick and mortar stores had to adapt. They had to go digital. They had to go online, and it was go online or what? Go out of business,
yeah,
right? It was
go online or close. Yeah, essentially.
Yeah. Did you see that with like any other stores, like maybe in the area where you were at? Like anyone else kind of like struggle in that same boat?
Yeah, I would say a lot of the stores. Luckily, in the West Loop, I'm pretty fortunate. I'm the only clothing boutique. So there's like a Free People and Anthropology and like a Madewell. Those are new though. So I'm very fortunate with being like the only clothing store. And then there's like 2 other gift and wedding boutiques.
Okay.
So they went online and we're a huge community. So we're all helping each other. We're all, like, hey, like, do you need anything? Or I found hand sanitizer, like, let's pass it out to everybody. So yeah, I'm very thankful that like I have a great community and the West Loop is great.
You're back in store now too, right?
Yes.
How long? So how long did that period? Was it just the entire lockdown?
It was an entire lockdown, so it was a full 3 months.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So for like a full 3 months, my doors were completely shut. And for the first like 2 months, I wasn't allowed to do even like pickup orders. So everything had to be through like the website through shipping.
That's got to be quite an adjustment.
It was a huge adjustment because I'm a new owner. So yes, I worked there and I knew the customers and I knew the community, but like you said, taking over, you put on so many different hats that you're wearing and so many roles that you're taking over that was an adjustment to then when I'm not really settled in that role to then be, hey, now
Add another layer
right,
to it. Yeah.
let's lock down and figure that out. It was definitely difficult, but
how many employees do you guys have?
So I only have 2. I do have like 1 full-time girl and then 1 part-time. They're amazing. I really have to say I've been like blessed with great employees.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Now in your transition phase when you took over, did the old owner kind of like mentor you through the process of like what it is to like now actually own the company, take over all the roles that come with it?
Yes, absolutely. So I would say end of 2018, beginning 2019 is when we like had the talks of, hey, I'm going to start taking over. This should be a good idea. She has fully been my mentor, fully has worked me through the entire process of let's go to this trade show together. Let's fly to New York together, LA, Atlanta, anywhere that, I want you to meet the vendors that I work with so they have a relationship with you. This is the bank account that I use. This is where I get my business cards made. Any little technicality, she was like, let me help you, train you, mentor you, and just make sure that you're good to go and you're going to thrive. And it's great.
Having that support system makes such a difference.
Oh, absolutely. And when I took over the business, I definitely did a lot of changes. Like I painted, hung up shelves, kind of like did that whole thing. So I was really nervous for her to come and see the store too. I was like, I hope
what did she think?
She loved it. She loved it. I hope so. She said it to me though, but
That's good. Yeah, it's. I'm sure it's so different when you already have this brand identity in place and so many people know of it and are accustomed to it, than to have to come in and I don't know if you've like announced or anything like that the business is changing ownership and stuff.
Yeah, we did.
How did that was that met with any sort of backlash or any hiccups or anything?
No, I wouldn't say that there was any negativity with that. I think it was more, like, that's great. You've been working here for 5 years.
Oh, so they already
4 or 5 years. So like, we know you, like, that's a good kind of transition to take over. But we made the announcements, did it on the website and all that. Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah. I mean, I'm sure the fashion space in itself has got to be so like cutthroat and like so much competition, right?
Yes, it really is. It really is. And not only are you, for me in particular, learning a clientele that I've been working with for 5 years, but I'm seeing it change. I'm seeing the West Loop get younger and younger, and people straight out of college moving,
right?
Or in high school, like, and it just getting younger and younger. So I had to then switch and see, because I'm seeing my target market change. So I have to switch everything that I have in my store.
You got to fully adapt. Yeah.
Completely adapt. Yeah. It was challenging, I would say, like for like 6 months, and then lockdown happened. So then you change to everyone wants pajamas. No one needs a wedding guest dress or a date dress. But now transitioning back into that. Yeah. It's fun though. I love it. I truly love doing what I do.
That's awesome. How do you go about like picking vendors and stuff? I mean, because obviously as a boutique, you get to choose like what you want showcased, right? So how is that, like, walk me through that process? What does that look like?
So there are a couple trade shows that happen like in Chicago, but I would say a majority of them are like New York, Vegas, LA. There's like a Nashville one. So they're all over. So I get to travel, which is great. Nice. Love traveling. And I go, and it's basically like, I would say at minimum 500 brands that are at these trade shows. And it's just rows and rows and rows of dresses, shirts, and, you can buy up to a year of your stuff. So, next month or in like a couple of weeks, I'm going to go to New York for a trade show. And that's what? So like that's February. So I can buy anything from like February to be delivered that same day that I'm like buying it up to like next February. So it's a lot of planning and I kind of just use the trust your gut instinct. It's, you flip through the clothes and you flip through the bags and purses and jewelry. And I'm like, okay, I can picture this and this customer. Okay. Or, people will love this. And if I have a little hesitation, I'm like, no, it's not worth it.
So you have the sense of like what you think people are going to be looking for. And,
yeah. I try not to like think twice about it, because if I think too hard, then it's not going to work.
Right.
Yeah. So I kind of just like go with my first mind. It's hard though, not shopping for yourself. I do have to say.
I can imagine. Yeah. Especially being in that space, right? Being surrounded by so many different options.
Yeah. Yeah.
How do you
I'm
make a
always
decision?
like, this would be really cute in my closet, but I have to think about the store.
Right. When it comes to like your clientele, obviously it sounds like you've got some sort of an established book of maybe repeat customers that come in. How do you go about like getting new clients? What's been your main either marketing source or outreach source? Social media or?
Yeah, social media, word of mouth. I think one of the things that has helped me a lot is the fact that Tribeca has been in business for so long.
Yeah. Because
when you Google like boutiques in Chicago, we're the number one boutique that comes up. We're like the first, when you go on Yelp, we're the first boutique. So I feel like having that help definitely brings new people in. We also do pop-up shops like throughout the city. Whenever there's like holiday markets or something like that, we'll try to get in there as well.
As a business owner, right, wearing all those hats, like what's your typical day-to-day look like?
It's a long day. I'll tell you that much. Coffee is needed. It starts with, going to the store. I like to go through all of my paperwork, all my emails, seeing what's coming in, what needs to be ordered, what bills need to be paid. Go throughout the store. Okay, visual merchandising. Do I need to change the window? A mannequin, change a few racks around, clean up, kind of zhuzh things around, make it all look good, and try to do all of that before the store opens. So then when customers are in the store, my sole focus is on them. And that's kind of what I do. So I try to take like around like 2 hours in the morning before the store opens to do all the back end.
What time does the store open?
11. Great hours.
Yeah. Awesome. That is great hours.
Yeah.
Amazing.
It's amazing.
Now, do you also do like seasonal stuff? Like, are you doing like seasonal changes in terms of like clothing and like either like maybe reconfiguring the store and stuff like that? Or
I wouldn't say I do it seasonally. The only thing I would do seasonally would be like the window display, where I'll have like a winter window display, or like I'll have like our like fall one is really cute.
Okay.
With, like our fall leaves and stuff like that. Yeah. Yeah. But otherwise, everything when it comes to like moving things around once a week, probably. Okay. I'm like rearranging and, this dress could be over there. Now it's over here. And I like try to do that once a week just to make everything feel new all the time to the customers.
And you're still doing online orders as well, right?
I do. Yeah, I definitely do still do online orders, but it is like, I feel like it's back to kind of pre-pandemic where everything is in store.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So what percentage would you say is in store compared to like your online sales?
Like 98% is in store. Yeah. Yeah.
Wow, that's awesome.
People like the brick and mortar.
Yeah. I mean, especially I would say for like, when you're shopping, people like, do you have like fitting rooms and stuff? People try on stuff? I'm sure that's the biggest, one of the reasons why people want to shop at like locally, because they get a feel for the like the material.
Exactly.
And try things on. And whatnot.
Exactly. Yeah, we definitely like to bring that experience, and we kind of call ourselves like a mom and daughter store. So like a mom and daughter can come in the store and you're both going to find something. And that's kind of how I like to describe Tribeca Boutique.
That is awesome. That is awesome. Have you made any like big changes since you've taken over?
I would say the biggest change that I did all came within the first month. And that was all just like physical changes of how the store is laid out, the like furniture in there and like the color, like that was all within the first month. But I also never closed my doors. So like I became the owner August 1st of 2019 and I stayed open because we're open 7 days a week. So I stayed open every single day, 11 to 7. And at 7:01, my dad and my fiance would come in. We would tape up the entire store and cover all the clothes, and we would paint the wall. And like, then we would hang up a shelf. We would, you know, like build this counter. We would do all of that stuff until 4 or 5 in the morning. Go to sleep until like 8 and then come back to the store.
Come back and do it all over.
Yeah, untape it, like take all the covers down, make sure everything looks good, open 11 to 7 and then do it all again.
My gosh, that must have been so stressful.
It was a lot. And I also was recovering from knee surgery, so I couldn't walk. So it was like another layer added. Yeah.
Bro.
It was like no sleeping, but it was so much fun.
I mean, those
really
are
was great.
The things you sacrifice as the owner, right? You have to do what you can with the time you have, right? So that's
and
incredible.
I was like very adamant that I was like, I am not going to close a single day, not even an hour. I am going to get this done. And luckily like my dad and my fiance and my brother-in-law, they all came. They're all handy and they were able to do it all. So I'm very lucky with that.
Yeah, I mean, having the right support system obviously always makes a big difference too.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's awesome. What does your mom think of you taking over?
She works with me sometimes. Yeah, I love it. So like my first year or my first 6 months before lockdown, she came and worked like every Friday with me because I was still recovering, so I couldn't walk. So she was my legs. And we would work together. And now we have this huge sale in the end of July called Sidewalk Sale.
Okay.
And it's like the whole block does it. And we kind of like shut down the sidewalks and we have like, we bring everything outside and everything is like 75% like discounted or more. And my mom always comes and works those with me. It's a lot of fun.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That sounds like an awesome experience to be able to share that with your mom.
Yeah. I love
kind
it.
of bringing it full circle.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
That's awesome.
Yeah. For the first couple of days, I was like, hey, just so you know, like I'm the boss now, you know? Yeah. So you got to listen to what I say.
That's so funny. That's so funny. We always like to end it with kind of, if you could look back, was there anything that you could have done different or you would have done different? And then any sort of advice that you can give to somebody that wants to kind of go in your shoes and pursue kind of the same route. What would you say? I'm
going to start with the advice one first because that I have an answer for right now. Advice, I would say, if you're going to college, fashion was amazing and I'm very glad that I did it. But I would say marketing and business helped me way more than fashion did. If you want to be an entrepreneur and have your own store, like that definitely the numbers is
right. Knowing everything from the business side.
That is a big thing. And also if you're going to take over a business, it really helps to like have a good relationship with that person because I never needed to take out a loan. I never needed to borrow money. I worked out a deal with my mentor to like pay it over time. So it was perfect. Like, it was the most amazing thing.
So you guys did a creative finance solution to it. That's amazing.
Yeah, it really helps to have a great relationship with the person that you are either going into business to or taking over a business from. So
100%.
Yeah, by doing that, never needed to like have that bank involvement or loan involvement. So that was really great. Something that I would do differently. That is
anything that you would changed or maybe done differently if you had a chance to go back?
Probably learn the website earlier.
Okay.
I wouldn't like make the pandemic force me to learn it. I would have liked to like learn it either like when I was working willingly. There. Yeah, when I like willingly. Exactly. Like when I was working there and then taking over.
Yeah.
I would have liked to learn the website more. Okay. Yeah, because it's almost like a side hustle from your business, you know, even though it is all connected, it's definitely its own entity. So it's a lot of work in and of itself.
I mean, an online store is open 24 hours, right? So that's something that you can use to your advantage.
Yeah. And like I upload everything on my own, take the pictures on my own. So it's a lot of work when our inventory is changing every day. We constantly have boxes coming in. We only get one of a size. So, you know, if you see it, you got to get it. So it's hard to keep that up on a website.
True. You have to be constantly on it. Like,
Yeah. So
wow.
that is like one of my goals for 2023.
Okay.
Was to try to, you know, hone in on that a little more.
Yeah. Speaking of goals, where do you see yourself in the next like 5 years?
I would love to have a second location. Yeah.
In
I absolutely.
like local, like Illinois or?
Yes. Yes. I would either do it like in the city or maybe like north suburbs, just because like that's where I'm from. So like I'm familiar with it.
Yeah.
Or maybe like western suburbs. But yeah, I would love to have a second location.
Second location?
Yeah.
That's
that
amazing.
Would be fun.
Yeah. Expand and keep growing, right?
Exactly.
There's no room for just standing still. You know, you always have to learn to elevate yourself and plan for bigger goals.
Absolutely. I mean, I hit my goal and my dream at 27, so I gotta get something else to work towards.
Yeah, that's incredible. Where can people find you? So where's your actual location?
Yeah, so Tribeca Boutique is on Madison Street, 1035 West Madison in the West Loop. And it's Tribeca Boutique on Instagram.
Tribeca Boutique on Instagram, open every single day?
Open every single day. Mm-hmm.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah, no
Awesome.
days off, never.
No days off ever.
No.
Website?
Tribeca Boutique Chicago.
Tribeca Boutique Chicago.
Yes,
Awesome.
it's a little lengthy, but that's the...
Well, no, it's such an amazing story to hear, like this unique perspective, right? From taking over an existing business, which is so cool. And the way you did it too sounds awesome. We appreciate you taking the time for joining us today. Is there anything else that you want to share? Maybe leave the audience with any last minute words of advice or motivation?
Oh my God, the pressure is
on, right?
is on. Don't stop giving up your dream, as corny as that sounds. If you know that you want to do it, just keep working towards it. Don't let anything stop you, and never stop reading. Reading is very important. No matter what you read, it just helps to keep going.
Yeah, you got to stay mentally sharp. You know?
Exactly.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. Well, thank you so much for taking the time today. Thank you guys for listening. We'll catch you on the next episode. See ya.